What is the aid or the mechanism of the aid received for meditation for an entity who would be positioned in the so-called Queen's Chamber position? Ra says, consider the polarity of mind-body-spirit complexes. The inner light is that which is your heart of being. Its strength equals your strength of will to seek the light. The position or balanced position of a group intensifies the amount of this will, the amount of awareness of the inner light necessary to attract the in-streaming light upward, spiraling from the south magnetic pole of being. Thus, this is the place for the initiate. For many extraneous items or distortions will leave the entity as it intensifies its seeking, so that it may become one with the centralized and purified incoming light. So here is the collapse of sort of polarity. I would call it this way, and I'll explain as I go. But this illustrates so many things, and I could just get lost talking about going on tangents, and tangents for sure, because they are completely related to the surface of what we're talking about, but relevant to everything that we get from this answer. And so what is the purpose of meditation? Which I think is implied here for sure, as Don is asking that what is the aid or the mechanism of aid that you receive from the Queen's Chamber position for meditation. And so Ra describes this, I mean, just let's go phrase by phrase because I think it's beautiful. Let's go. When they say consider the polarity of mind-body-spirit complexes, this polarity could be anything. It could be service to others, service to self, up and down, male and female, whatever. You name it. But the polarity that they're talking about here is the inner light and the prana, right? So that's the whole answer. The whole answer is talking about these two lights, the polarity, the division, the apparent division of internal or inner world and outer world, the self and other self, the permanence and impermanence of reality. That's all there is here. You can see how I can go on a very long tangent talking about all of this, but again, that's the nature of studying the law of one. You're juggling with these concepts, and as you read it, you don't have to know all of this stuff the first time you read it. If this is your first time reading this part with me, or if it's the 10th time, it doesn't matter. Even if it's anybody, Jim McCarthy could be reading this, and me and him could have a discussion about this, and we can go into details of all of these concepts. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that we get something out of it. And here I'm going to try to expand as much as possible, to break down as much as possible all of this, because this is the purpose. This is the one purpose of the creation, is to unify these polarities. We can talk about Buddhism here, the collapse of the apparent self with the self, the other self with the self, the external world and the inner world. I mean, this is just amazing. So, in any case, let's get to it. The inner light is that which we're talking about now, the polarity of the self. The inner light is that which is your heart of being. Your heart of being is consciousness. You are consciousness. You are the observer. You are that permanence, that immutable part of the one creator. So that is the inner light. Its strength, the strength of the inner light, equals your strength of will to seek the light. The free will of the entity to get lost in the separate self, to suffer in life, and to go back to the self. Well, the strength of the inner light is equal to the amount of strength of you to seek that light. How much you want to know that permanent part of yourself. And this is crucial. This is the focusing of the will. The focalizing of your will to watch Netflix, And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with watching Netflix, but just eat, I don't know, go for a ride, or seek the one creator. They're not different things. You can do all of these things seeking the one creator. You see the difference? So it's your will to put your energy and enjoy reality for whatever it is as the creator. And this is how you strengthen your will for seeking the one creator. So there's no particular activity that you have to do. You need to meditate 20 hours a day. No. It's all about bringing, if you hear, bringing, I don't know how it's said in English, but it's the manifesting the heaven on earth, right? I forgot how to say it in English, but that's what you want to do, right? And so they keep saying the position or balanced position of a group intensifies the amount of this will. So the position, I suppose, is, it could be consciousness. See, this is confusing to me because they say the position or balanced position of a group intensifies the amount of this will, the amount of awareness of the inner light necessary to attract the in-streaming light upward. Now we're talking about prana, spiraling from the south magnetic pole of being. That would be the impermanent part of reality, our changing self, everything else, reality, other people, and so on. That is prana. Anything, experience is prana. And so the position or balanced position of a group intensifies the amount of this will. Now, I don't think, especially because they say group, right? And this position to me means the placement of your seeking. And if you have a group that is seeking all of this, then it intensifies this. This is why group meditation or group channeling is much more efficiently, because this will, I mean, we're not separate beings. We're all one, and even if we're separated by distance, and we meditate at the same time with the same intention, with the same seeking, peace for Ukraine and Russia, harmony for our brothers in sorrow and suffering, whatever it is, as long as we have a pure intention, pure concentrated intention, then this will intensify the will for the seeking. And that is to me what they're talking about. But the question was about the Queen's chamber position, which again, the Queen's chamber position is to intensify this will by the forces of prana, or the energy that is being funneled into the pyramid. So is it the same position? Yes, because it is being concentrated rather. It's being concentrated in the pyramid of Giza. And so the amount of awareness of the inner light necessary to attract the in-streaming light upward, that is what it intensifies. It intensifies the amount of awareness of the inner light necessary to attract in-streaming light upward. And you can appreciate more everything, if I can put it in these words. You can appreciate things more as you intensify this seeking, because you are, I don't like the word forcing, but you're putting yourself in a position where you want to see the creator in everything. You want to see the oneness of you and everything else. That is oneness. It's not oneness being the universe alone is oneness. I am the universe. And so this permeates there. And so Ra says, this is the place of the initiate, which is the Queen's Chamber's position. It's the position of the initiate. Initiation happens there. For many extraneous items or distortions will leave the entity as it intensifies its seeking. So many distortions, convictions, conceptions, concepts, ideas, all of these are extraneous items or distortions that will leave the entity I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying we tend to foster or cultivate, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but just part of the process. Perhaps undesirably is a right word. We tend to cultivate, or maintain rather, these concepts about ourselves or reality. These ideas of how things should be. Ideals are to the detriment of society, always. That's my opinion, and I think it's a very justified opinion, that our ideals are the ones that are causing trouble. Because ideals always have to be put into boxes. And those boxes, especially ideals, are defended. They're not like preferences. I have a preference for green, say. Well, that's a preference. Nobody cares, you know, for that much, that they're going to be offended by it. But ideals are easily offended. And so ideals should fall out because you are divided. And for this, you want to have the purest form of awareness, which is, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. All I know is that I see myself everywhere. And for that, of course, you need a lot of introspection. But that is the nature of it. And so they say these will leave the entity as it intensifies its seeking. See, all of these fall out. And this is directly proportional to the amount of intensification of seeking, so that it may come that's beautiful, so that it may become one with the centralized and purified incoming light. The incoming light is neutral. Again, you see, there's so much poetry here. Let's go back to the beginning of the question, or the beginning of the answer from Ra, saying that there is consider the polarity of the individual mind, body, spirit complex. The inner light and the upward spiraling light. The inner light is permanent, is consciousness. The upward spiraling light is experience, is everything that you see, is your vision, is your thoughts, is people, is situations, or anything. And so that upward spiraling light, which is all of it trying to seek, or not trying, they are evolving. Matter is evolving at a very slow pace, but matter is becoming organic. And that organic is going to become life as we know it, sentient beings and so on. And it'll become third density, whatever it is, in this planet, another planet, doesn't matter. It's all about consciousness evolving. And so all of this is yourself evolving, and you are living within yourself. And so you unify this in perception. That's how you unify it. And so the purpose of all of this, intensifying this seeking to see yourself as the outer world, is that it may become one with this centralized and purified incoming light. That is the incoming light, the prana, the movement, Shakti, moving, dancing. And so it's interesting how talking about pyramids can leave us or lead us to this, as opposed to the usual talk that we find on media in general, internet channels, programs, whatever, that they just want to talk about the mysterious part of the pyramids, who built them and all of this stuff. I am much more interested in this non-transient information, as Ra would say, that is the understanding of the self. So forgive me if I can get anything sensationalist out of this, but I'm sure the majority of you are interested in the same type of information as I am, so sure you enjoy this. But let's move on.